Hi, welcome back. Or if you're just joining, my name is Maya, and welcome to my channel, Cranleyplace, where I'm posting content on scarf style, knot tutorials, and more. Some of you have asked me about comparing Hermès scarf sizes, particularly the 90 centimeter and the 70 centimeter. So in this video, I'll do a compare and contrast of the two sizes using some examples from my own collection, give my thoughts on height considerations with regard to scarf size, and look at some styling options. Let's get started. First, let me start with some background on the artist whose scarf designs I'll use in this video. I chose two designs by legendary Hermès artisan Philippe Ledoux. He is responsible for some of the most classic and highly collected Hermès scarf designs, such as Napoleon, La Comédie Italienne, and Cosmos. Other highly popular Ledoux scarves include Springs, Harnais de Cour, and La Promenade de Longchamps. Now, Ledoux was enlisted by Robert Dumas in 1947 to design for the house, and during his tenure created something like 90 or more scarf designs, many of which have been reissued and reimagined over the years. His last two scarf designs were in fact finished posthumously in the 1970s by his nephew, Vladimir Rybalchenko. That name will likely sound familiar to Hermès fans. He's another longtime Hermès artist with many carré designs under his belt. He signed his designs Rybal. Vladimir is also father to current generation Hermès artist Dmitry Rybalchenko, who signs his designs Dmitry R. Don't you love that? I can happily say that I've collected carrés from all three generations of this extremely talented family. Anyways, the 90 centimeter I'll use today is a vintage design called La Promenade de Longchamps, first issued circa 1965. This is a new addition to my collection that I received recently as a gift. If you haven't seen my video on vetting pre-loved Hermès scarves, I'll put a link in the upper corner here. This design was inspired by Parisians on their way to the races at Longchamps, the famous racetrack in the Bois de Boulogne, built in 1857. By the late 1800s, it attracted enormous crowds and was certainly a place to see and be seen. In the scarf, you can see the ladies and gentlemen traveling on horseback, in enclosed carriages, or in open-air phaeton carriages, which were quite fashionable at the time. Thematically, this is classic Hermès equestrian. No surprise, since Monsieur Dumas was apparently quite fond of Ledoux' ability to draw horses. The 70 centimeter I'll use today is a modern reissue of another Ledoux design called Les Promenades de Paris. In this vignette, he takes us on a stroll down four of the most famous promenades in Paris: the Tuileries, Les Invalides, Palais Royal, and the Champs-Élysées. The Tuileries, of course, is the fabulous public garden between the Louvre and the Place de la Concorde. Not only is it gorgeous, but I'm sure I'm not alone in saying it's also one of the best places in Paris to people watch. Les Invalides is on the other side of the Seine and originally built as a retirement home and hospital for war veterans. Today, it's made up of monuments and museums dedicated to France's military history. Part of the complex is a church. You can see the cupola in the background, and that is the burial site, actually, of Napoleon Bonaparte. Palais Royal is right across the Louvre and opens with a grand entrance onto the Saint-Honoré. In fact, the Hermès flagship store on 24 Rue du Faubourg Saint-Honoré is an easy 10-15 minute walk away. Then finally, the Champs-Élysées, perhaps the most famous of all of these promenades, leading to the Arc de Triomphe. This is my one and only 70 centimeter size scarf, which I originally got because I wanted to try the size, and I fell in love with the colorway and these striped hems. For a comparison, let's first start with an objective lens. 90 centimeters in inches is 36 by 36 inches, and 70 centimeters about 28 by 28. Dust off some of the cobwebs, and with the Pythagorean theorem from your geometry classes, we can calculate the diagonal length for each of these. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. So for the 90 centimeter, that's about 51 inches, and the 70 centimeter, that's about 40 inches. Now, according to a 2020 study, the average neck size for men is 15.2 inches or 38.7 centimeters. And in comparison, the average neck size for women is about 13.1 inches or 33.3 centimeters. Realistically, you're never going to wear just that scarf length folded on the bias. You'd either need to tie it around your neck using the fabric itself or with a scarf ring. A full-size Mohr's ring, for example, would buy you a few more inches. So using a 70 centimeter scarf plus a Mohr's ring on an average woman's neck, you'd end up with about a 30-inch tail wearing it long. Same scenario with a 90 centimeter plus a Mohr's ring, the tail would be about 40 inches. Now, whether these are too short or long for your height depends on your preference and also obviously your height. I am not particularly tall, so wearing a 40-inch scarf tail may look dramatic, but practically speaking, am I going to wear it like that? 100% no. But someone taller may be able to carry that off quite easily. It's actually something you'd have to try and see whether or not you liked it. Would I wear it like this with a 70 centimeter? Maybe. Now, the calculus changes, of course, if you remove the scarf ring and use just the fabric to make your knots. I tend to wear my scarves on the looser side because I don't like feeling strangled. Here's an example with a 70 centimeter where I could end up with about a 15 to 17 inch long tail. With a 90 centimeter, that adds maybe another 10 or more inches to it. Now, I prefer knots that keep the scarf closer to my upper torso, so here are some examples of the same knot using the different size scarves for comparison. All things considered, I do like the 70 centimeter size, but personal preference, I like the 90 centimeter more. It's also a better value per square inch if that makes a difference to you. If you haven't seen my video on best Hermès scarf sizes and formats for the money, I'll put a link in the upper corner here. The 90 centimeter size actually makes up the bulk of my Hermès scarf collection. For me, it's a more versatile size that I can wear year-round. 70, 65, even 45 centimeters I tend to use more in the warmer months. But like anything, it's all about preferences and figuring out what works best for you. So there you have it. My thoughts on the 70 and 90 centimeter scarf formats from Hermès. Please like and share the video if you enjoyed it and let me know what you think in the comments. In future episodes, I'll share other scarf reviews, tutorials, and more, so be sure to hit that subscribe button to be notified of new videos. Thanks again for joining me today. Until next time!